Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. Today I want to break down a little piano piece that I recorded yesterday. I called it Prelude in Non-Diatonic Chords. Well, I don't actually think that's the best name for it. I think we should call it an etude. We've talked about etudes this week. Today I want to break this one down and talk about how it's got a great instrumental form and a couple of kind of clever musical tricks that gives us those interesting textures. Well, let's take a look at how it works. Well, if this is the second or third video of mine you've watched and you're not subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. We're building a community here of artists and musicians who are dedicated to their own musical growth, of finding a music theory, a way of thinking about their music that helps them move forward in a way that's unique to them. I hope that this is theory for everyone. And to that end, I'm going to say this: an etude, a way of creating a piece of music that actually tries to teach the person who's playing it a couple of new ideas, is a really great idea. Now, you can play etudes from famous composers and learn a little bit about their harmonic and melodic concepts, as well as some of the what we call instrumental forms of harmony, how to play chords, that kind of thing, how it's arranged. But if you've got a couple of musical ideas, it might be smart to think about writing your own etudes. This piece that I recorded yesterday is kind of one of those things because it uses some of the harmonic ideas we've been talking about this week, non-diatonic chords, scales, enharmonically respelling modes, and also a couple of the instrumental forms of harmony that I've been showing in the shorts. Let's take a look at how it all comes together. I guess we should start with a little review, and it's actually a fairly simple idea. If I take these 5 hands and just put them down, I get the, bunch of notes that make the C major scale. And if I want to change the scale that I'm in, or if I want to change the mode, I have 2 choices. One is to move my hands and leave the shape, whole step, half step, and go to another place. Or I can respell each of these notes. The trick that I'm using is respelling each of these notes, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I start with something like this, which is what I've done, those 4 notes are all from the C major scale. The E, if it became E flat, would be from the C minor scale, and now I'm in C minor. I've respelled the E from E to E flat to get a new scale. Now, if I have more notes, I would just do it to all of the notes. I'll show you what I mean. So far we've had C, C minor. Okay, so here's my C minor concept. There's C, there's C minor. Let's continue on outwards. The B would be flat. The A might be flat or maybe natural, it's hard to say. C minor, C natural minor, C major. How about C Dorian? The A's become, A flats become A's. That's actually a very pretty sound. And then we could also do it with any other scale. If I was playing these 2 notes, of course that's what I was doing, that's C and D, and I wanted to go to D major, the F becomes F sharp, the C becomes C sharp. I'm in C major, I'm in D major. Do you hear the brightness, the beautiful thing that changes there? Let me show you what I was doing on the piano. In fact, I'm going to turn on the overhead camera and we'll look at my hands and we'll talk a little bit more about how it all works. So, as I said, the idea is this. I've got these 4 notes and then potentially a bunch of others that I can use. My right hand is on these 2, my left hand is on these 2, and I'm actually doing a little trill between the 2 hands. I'm also adding notes on the outside. Those 2 notes. Maybe these 2 notes. Maybe these 2. Now, the way I'm playing it is everything at once. So you see the top note hanging out there by itself? If I add everything, it's really beautiful. Now let's try changing the scale, getting a different sound by changing the scale. C major, C minor, C Dorian minor in this case. So here we go, C. Now C minor. Back to C major. Let's change to D major. And back to C. And C minor. The trill on the inside gives us a kind of a propulsive energy. It actually acts kind of like a pedal tone, doesn't it? And the outside voices are mostly moving in beautiful tenths. When outside voices move in tenths, they can be, quite lovely. Here they're in D major, here they're in C minor. Put it all together, you've got a piece of music. You have an etude. You have a piece of music that works with an idea about how to play an instrumental form of harmony. That's what it's called. How I play the chord. Do I fingerpick? Do I strum? Do I play an arpeggio? Do I play one note at a time? Block chords. That's instrumental form. And then I'm working with a harmonic concept. In this case, the harmonic concept is grab a bunch of notes and then keep the same letter names, but shift it so that it's a new key. C becomes C minor. C becomes D major. And there's something really interesting about that shift for me, and it's the trick that I was using. So here I am in C, and then C minor, here we go, and then D major. And then back to C. Let's go to C minor and D. Well, it's fun. And I usually just let my nose guide me. I just sort of like follow my ear wherever it's going to go. You can easily, when you're fiddling around with this kind of thing, kind of get off track and it doesn't work for you. I suppose if we wanted to, we could be very specific, write it all out. I think if I was making a piece of music using this approach, I would try to be a little more rigorous about exactly how things work together. But the idea is really nevertheless going to be the same. I've got a way of playing the chords and I've got an approach to the harmony. I'm exploring it. I think of it as kind of wandering in a dream state in my dreams through a house that I think I know well and discovering a door that wasn't there before. And as I open the door, wow, a whole new room in my house. This is what happens when you suddenly shift a pattern that you feel quite comfortable with into a new scale system. When you say the E is going to be E flat, the B is going to be B flat. It's like things just change. It's like you rotated the object and you're suddenly looking at it from another side. It's a fascinating approach. And, as you can hear, it's kind of short on melody, but kind of like long on texture. I think that's kind of what interests me the most. Well, I hope this has been interesting. Try it for yourself. Every musician interested in developing their own music theory should consider the idea that a couple of etudes that dig deep, examine the ideas that they're the most interested in, is something that they should do. Boy, that was a kind of a long sentence. Let me say this again. Make your own etudes. Make your own etudes. Why not, right? Study what you're interested in. You may not be able to find an etude that somebody has made for you that, is the right thing for you. You may need to make your own. Make your own. Well, Like and subscribe, ding the bell. I'll see you next time.